Hello everyone, welcome to another process video. I am back to doing some photos from New York. Since I have so many, I figure, need to get back to that. Also, these came in the mail. I had to skip some layouts because they needed flips and I didn't have any. I was out, I had to order more. So they did come in the mail finally, yay. So now I can go back to doing some of those. And this definitely needs a flip. I've got multiple photos down here I have to deal with. So it's a good thing that those arrived. But first things first, I did jump ahead and already did the layout that was on the other side, and that's a different process video. So that's why you can see pictures through here, or the backs of the photos. But these are what I'm using today. So this was a meal that I had at the end of day one in New York. So after I had done all my sightseeing and all the stuff I want to do on that first day, I decided to treat myself and I went out to a pub that was, I think it was only about 2 blocks from where I was staying. So I took a picture of my food here. I had a burger and fries and it was quite good. And then a picture of my drink. I treated myself to a Jameson ginger. Figured I'd earned it after all the walking I did that day. And then here are the other elements. I definitely want to use this card. I love it because it says tired feet, full belly, happy heart. That is exactly how I felt at the end of that day. And then I have this photo, which shows the cover of the menu, and I have them placed how I think I'm going to use them, so that these two will be back to back, and then I'll have this one. Now, the problem is that I also have a receipt from this night, the actual machine receipt, and what I did was I scanned it on my copier, and I decreased the size to 80% and then printed so that it would be a little bit better sized to this format. To get it to fit in a 3x4, I would still have to probably cut off this bottom part that says customer copy, thank you. But if I cut it to about there, then it would fit in a 3x4 pocket. My question is though, do I need both? I kind of like the idea that I have the actual machine receipt, but I like this photo because I was very surprised at this, that they actually gave me a paper check. They don't use electronic payment things there like a lot of places do. They just bring you this check and you walk up and you pay your bill before you leave. So they're kind of doing it old school at this pub still. And I thought that was interesting. However, if I want to use both of these, then I also have to have another flip and another card in here. Now I could probably find a really cool one that I have about food. I have lots of 3x4 cards about food because I like to scrap my food. So I probably could find it, but that wasn't my original plan. So I think I'm going to have to look through my stuff, see if I have anything that would kind of enhance the layout, because I don't want to just add it to add it. I want it to look good, mean something, be good with the design. So this is my starting point, and then I'll look through my stuff for the other food options maybe, and I'll go from there. When I went through my stash of cards, I found 2 that I think might work. And I like both of them because they match with the pickle. So this one just says yummy, yummy, yummy. This was so yummy, yummy, yummy. This one just says eat. Now, I printed this one a while ago, I believe, because I don't think it came like that. I think it's a digital file and I printed it, and I've already rounded the corners. None of my other corners are rounded. So I could reprint it and see if it came as a file that has straight corners or not, or I could just wing it. Chances are I'm probably going to wing it. I don't get too worked up over rounded corners versus straight corners. I prefer straight corners if I'm honest, but I'll take the rounded and it's really not that big of a deal. So if I were to use that one, I'd probably just leave it. But I do like this one. This one has a lot more color, which I kind of like. Then my next problem though is now, do I still want this on top? Or do I want this because it'll match? I mean, obviously you'll still see these when you flip up, so the color will still be there. It just won't be the first thing you see when you turn to this particular layout. So either you're seeing, let me put this together here, either you're seeing it like this right away. Cooperate with me here. There we go. Or you're seeing this, which I kind of like, or this, which I also like. So dilemmas, people, dilemmas. I'll have to futz around with it. I think maybe I'll do these first, whatever I'm going to do to those, and then leave this for last so I can procrastinate a little bit till I make up my mind. So I went through all my stuff again, and I think I have figured out what to do with these photos. I found both of these phrases, perfect. And I found this, today was a great day, and it's kind of colored the same as the drink, so that's great. However, I'm going to switch pockets. With this on the right-hand side, I don't want this centered right below it. So I think I'm going to move this photo over here. So then these are at opposite sides to each other, just from a design perspective. And then I'm going to move this pile, which will be flips, over to this side. Now, speaking of the flips, I think this is how I'm going to do them. I do like that green sort of matchy-matchy on top, so that'll be the top one. And then this will be on the other side, so I can do my journaling. So when it flips up, you'll see that journaling. Then I will have this, and I even found this little flare I had that says on the menu. And since it's a menu, how perfect. So I'm going to do that. It will add a little bit of bulk to the pockets, but again, totally okay with that. I want the fun stuff in this album too, because I had such a great trip. Then I will do the eat card again, so you get matching. And then it will work out evenly because this will be what actually appears in the pocket itself when everything is flipped up. So I think that's the order I'm going with. Now to put it all together. I've got these two phrases adhered, so now I'm just going to put some staples in there. And there we go. That's all I have to do to that one. So that's pretty simple. I like the easy ones. And now I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to adhere this, but to the left side, and then put a staple in. And I have to say, these phrases are all from digital files that I bought. I have to say that I really love using them because they make designing so easy. When I have a full photo like this and there isn't a lot of dead space, there's a little bit here, but not a ton, I like it that I can kind of fill that by just putting on a phrase. Plus it adds, a little bit to the journaling aspect, but I don't actually have to write anything myself yet. And it always works, as a design element too. If you can get the right font and the right color, I think that works. So I'm kind of in love with these phrases. That's why you're pretty much seeing them on every layout. All right, so there we go. So that was really simple, guys. I love it. Now the harder part is going to come when I have to put all of this stuff together and see if I want to stamp or add more phrases or any of that stuff. So on to that next. For this photo, where I'm using my piece of flair here, I'm just going to use glue dots to stick that on there. Those have been the best option that I have found so far. So I'm just going to continue using those. I usually only do 2 when they're smaller, this size. I have gotten some flair on Etsy before that are, quite a bit bigger than this. And in that case, then I've used 3. But normally 2 is enough. Oop, it's coming off there. There we go. So I just do that on the back. Get it set the way that I want. And I do want this one, pretty centered. So let's just line it up like it's going to be there. And then do that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I have all of my components ready here. Since I decided, though, not to use this, that's just going to go in the garbage, actually. I have another machine receipt from my meal the second night that hopefully I can work that in somehow since I didn't get to do this one, but we'll see. So my pockets are going to sit like this. I will say that I did actually choose to trim a little bit of the adhesive off at the tops of these flips for this particular page. And I did that because when they sit on here, I don't want them completely, overlapping this whole bottom phrase here. I want it to be able to be seen pretty well without too much obstruction. So I just trimmed it down a little bit. It'll still hold just fine. I don't have super heavy elements in here, even with the flare. That's very lightweight, so it'll be fine. But since this is the second flip, this one goes on first. Got to do them in reverse order. So we're going to line it up here, and I do want to show this is the one that I did end up using with the rounded corners. You can't really tell that much because the back of the photo is white and this just kind of blends in. If you look closely, you know, you can see it. There you go. But, you know, doesn't really bother me. So in it goes. All right, so we want to line it up as best we can here. It will stick out a little bit, which is to be expected. Whoop, there we go. So there's one. Now we have to do the other one. And if you have a page like that and it bothers you that these are slightly wider, you don't notice it as much when it's on this side. On this side you will because it is the edge. But if it bothers you, if you take a really fine scissors, you can trim off some of that. Just don't cut into this part right here because obviously you'll wreck the seam then. But there is a little give there where you could trim along that outside if you wanted to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on how I think it looks once it's done. So don't know what I'll do on this one yet. We'll just play it by ear. We'll see. All right, so there goes the second one. Just press it down, make sure it's on there extra good or extra well. All right, so this is what it'll look like. You're going to, if my camera will focus, there we go. You're going to flip up. My journaling will be in there. You'll see the menu with the flair. You'll see the other card that says eat, which I love it that you can see the matching here, even just for a little bit when it's flipped up. And then the bill. So guess what? That's it for that one, guys. I love it. I had to do, you know, a little bit of a switcheroo on some stuff, but I'm very happy with the final result. Thanks for watching.